Kel, is there any public? And do they have any hands raised?
No, not at the moment.
Got it. Item number 3, approval of minutes to the January 23rd, 2023 meeting. I assume everyone had a chance to review the package. I don't know if anybody had any, want to make a motion before we can have a discussion? Anyone want to make a motion to approve the minutes?
Sure, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. I do have a trivial, ultra trivial comment about the remarks under 8 that Nick made. And Nick's here, so he could correct me if I'm wrong, but the last sentence I just changed to say Mr. Conti will continue to provide lead times and feedback as needed.
Yeah, thank
Kind
you.
of broke up. Yeah, if everyone had up here, and you could maybe repeat that.
Certainly, that under number 8 remarks, there's a couple of lines from Nick, and the first one is fine, although it should be switch gear, not switch gears. Although we do like to switch gears. And then the last sentence I just changed to say Mr. Conti will continue to provide lead times and feedback as needed. And I thought it was super clear, Adam and Raquel, the whole thing.
Excellent. Do we have a second with those changes? George, number 2, got it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. See, moving on to number 4, and this should be a pretty quick one because we really haven't, I don't think, advanced much, but the architect's update. Justin, you want to,
Sure. Good evening or late afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the building committee. As Graham mentioned, real quick update. We continue to work on the revisions that we had shown, the floor plan revisions that we had shown at the last building committee meeting. The one item of note is we did have our working group meeting with members of the faculty and staff to socialize those revisions. Overall, I would say that they were well received with the group. And our next working group meeting next week will be to follow up on some of the room by room discussions for some of the special areas. We will note that tomorrow evening we have a neighbors meeting that we will be listening to some of the concerns regarding the site with a focus group of people. So we'll be prepared and have Banesh there, as well as Kola Ronan, and I believe Nick and Adam will also be there to talk about all things related to construction, the phasing, the sequencing, and we'll be there to talk about the end design and parking and queuing. Other than that, we're getting on the radar for some of the regulatory agencies, and we've been working with Aaron in the town to start getting on those meeting agendas. So,
Justin, how did the meeting with the State Building Commission work?
our state SDR schematic design review meeting. That's right. We had that the day following our last building committee meeting. It went well. We made a presentation of where we were at, what some of the challenges were, or some of the strategies to overcome the budget at the end of SDR. And all in all, we had a successful meeting. Adam, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to that. But it was a rather typical, what we would call schematic design review meeting, where there wasn't a lot of formal paperwork that was submitted. That will be at design development review, and then ultimately pre-bid conformance review. So,
Thank you.
Excellent. So I think with that, we'll move on to the next item agenda, construction manager's update. Nick gets a chance to shine here. I don't have much to say. Hey, Nick, how we doing?
Then I've dropped the ball. I don't have a whole lot to add. I apologize. Just prepping for tomorrow night's meeting to go through the site logistics and kind of what
Perfect.
the first steps of the project, what it's going to look like, so they can kind of get their head around those impacts, as Justin mentioned. But that's all I have.
Beautiful. concise. I like that. See, number 6, OPM's update. Adam, you got anything for us? Update on the,
Yeah, so Justin stole most of my thunder, so thanks, Justin. But no, I would say that the next couple meetings might be a little light in terms of some of the content, because as we get into design development, it's just a bigger focus on details and things that are specific to how an end user wants to utilize some of the spaces. So if you don't hear a lot of substance in some of the updates, that's partially why. And a lot of the intakes for inland wetlands and planning and zoning, those are coming up. So we won't have a lot of feedback on those for a little bit until those actually get through the intake process, through some of the initial meetings, and then as we get closer to public hearings and that. So and right now it's just kind of heads down, accountant green eye shades on for focusing on the plans and calculations and specs and all that kind of stuff.
great. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate that. Number 7, the important part, review of invoices and approval.
Yes, so I'll share this. So we'll have an interim invoice packet. Usually we try to do it the second meeting of the month, but just based on some of the schematic design focus, didn't get a chance to get in the Gilbane and Tecton and BVH invoices. So want to get those processed so they can get paid for the work through schematic design. So BVH for 990. Gilbane for their schematic design services, the estimate, the review for 34,674, and then Tecton for schematic design, plus they're starting to work on design development phase for 213,889 for a total of 249,553. There's a draft motion in your packet.
Would anyone like to make the motion? Looking for volunteers? Someone's looking at having to track down the draft motion.
I can do it.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. I would like to make a motion to approve the invoice packet dated February 6, 2023, including invoices from BVH, Gilbane, and Tecton for a total approval of $249,553.
Thank you. Any
Second.
discussion? Second?
I was gonna put you to it. You beat me to
He's pulling the trigger fast tonight. He must have early dinner plans. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Excellent. Moving on to item number 7, number 8, public comment. Is there any additional?
Yes, Seth. Just one second, I'll promote him over.
Beautiful.
Hi, folks. Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Yep.
Thanks.
Hi there. Thank you all as usual for all your work. I just wanted to report a bit of potentially positive news. It's way too early to get too excited about this. But our district, the Board of Ed, are advocating along with the Connecticut Association of Boards of Education and the Connecticut Association of Public School Superintendents to try to get a percentage increase in the percentage of reimbursement for school projects. It can take one of two forms. Either we can petition to potentially have our reimbursement for the new school be based on renovate as new reimbursement, which is a higher rate of reimbursement than new school reimbursement. Or it could take the form of the legislature potentially raising the whole tide and lifting all ships and just raising the number, the reimbursement percentages for all schools across the board. It might be done in some kind of an equitable fashion so that, towns with less money still remain at a higher reimbursement level, which is fine and understandable. But we would still hopefully get more than what's projected at this point. Should that occur, even though it comes in after the fact, after the project is approved and delivered, it could certainly help to offset some of the, a lot of, if not all of the difference that we're talking about in the plan versus the budget. So I just wanted to report on that. Potentially good news down the road. We'll keep our ears open, and I'll keep you guys updated as I hear more.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I think the premium is like 10% if you go to a renovate as new. Now that I assume that wouldn't let us increase the total referendum number, but the town share would be diminished. So the tax impact would be reduced, I believe, right? Is that be my understanding?
Exactly.
Great. Well, that's great news. Appreciate all your hard work and the board of superintendents pushing that. It's been tough. The construction market has hit a lot of communities pretty hard. So
yeah,
that'd be excellent if we could pull that off.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Also, we obviously appreciate the boards contributing, helping us get work to get to the budget. So that's still much appreciated on that end. So doing double duty.
Sure thing.
Great. Let's see. Anything else, Seth? Are you good or?
That's it. I'm good. You can take me off screen now. Thanks.
Okay. We don't get much public in here, so we when we get one, we like to hold on to it for a few minutes. Okay. Thanks, Seth. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And anyone else with their hand raised, Raquel?
No.
Okay, great. So moving on to the next item, which I think is just public or any other comments from the any other remarks or any other comments anyone would like to make? I just mentioned, at some point, we're probably going to be going into the Board of Selectmen for a little update end of February, early March. So we're, I know there's some new updates on the school projection numbers that the superintendent's gotten. So Peggy has asked us to come in and kind of give an update. We're not going to have the final solutions, but she just wants to, it'd be a good way to reach out to the public. So it's followed. We'll probably present some images. I don't think we've presented too many building images or floor plan images. So that'll be an opportunity, but I'd like to do it after we like to brief the selectmen first, go to the press, and then we can kind of, broadcast that out. But I want to, if you think it's the time to start showing images of the building, I mean, I don't want to get out in front of the budgeting process, but I think it's safe, relatively safe to kind of show what we're envisioning conceptually. So we'll fine tune the next meetings, probably maybe early March. Just give us a little more time to fine tune some things. So that's all the comments I have. Anyone else have anything they'd like to add?
I move that we adjourn.
Okay,
Yeah.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous, I think. Take
Yep.
care, Bob. Bob, what are you doing is that in your house? I thought you're not with Billy more. You guys had a falling out? You're muted. I don't mean to feel
Bob's
the
not
temperature.
feeling well. Bob's not feeling well, so leave him alone.
Okay,
Yeah, you got a stomach bug, so
Oh,
I
okay.
decided not to give it to Billy,
Okay,
Thank you.
much appreciated. It's only 24
Yeah.
hours. I'm told. Okay,
Yeah.
Hopefully
Feel
it's
better,
like-
Bob.
Yeah, feel better, Bob.
Thank you. Thanks.
take care, everybody. Talk to
Take
you
care,
soon.
guys.
Okay.